You're especially welcome on behalf of the board and management of Gold Circle and the board of directors of the KZN Nota, who are the chief sponsors of tonight's event. To officially welcome you, please welcome the chairman of Gold Circle, Mr. Robert Mavis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Gold Circle and the KwaZulu-Natal Owners and Trainers Association, we welcome you all to the 2014 KZN Racing Awards. 2014 has been a year of achievement and celebration, and tonight is no exception as we acknowledge and honor our champions. We salute not only those who have excelled on the racetracks at Greyville, Clarewood and Scottsville, but also those that in one way or another have made a special contribution to the sport of kings. The success of our wonderful sport does not depend solely on the exploit of our champions, but also on the dedicated passion and support of every single owner, trainer, jockey and groom, both locally and nationally, who create the excitement that we all experience. We extend a vote of thanks to everyone associated with our wonderful sport, including the willing support of the various media platforms who continue to ensure that racing in this province goes from strength to strength. Horse racing in KwaZulu-Natal is quite unique in that it is totally dedicated to the sport where the development of a thoroughbred is a core principle. Every single cent of profit generated by Gold Circle is plowed back into racing for its development and sustainability. The future of racing in KwaZulu-Natal is sound, and the prospects very exciting indeed. While sadly, to bid farewell to Clarewood, we have entered in a new and thrilling era with a new polytrack at Greyville, which is proving a resounding success. Summerbelt has been extended to include a world-class stabling accommodation, as well as boasting a new poly training track, and ambitious plans are now in place to make Greyville Racecourse a sought-after entertainment destination in Durban. We trust that you will continue on this journey with Gold Circle as we strive to consolidate KwaZulu-Natal into being the racing mecca of Africa. It is not the norm for me to single out any particular horse in my welcoming address, but Beach Beauty has been an extraordinary champion who is worthy of being the exception. Very few champions can lay claim to having performed at the highest level consistently over 4 consecutive seasons. During all that time, she entertained and thrilled our fans, as few before her have done. We said an emotional farewell to her on Super Saturday, and her connection are especially welcome here tonight. Welcome. To all the winners tonight and those associated with them, we offer our congratulations and wish them even greater success in the year ahead. I thank you and trust you will enjoy this special occasion with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Graham.
Thank you very much, Robert. Tonight is a celebration, and we promise you an evening of fun, music, dance, the celebration of champions, both equine and human. But we are going to mix things up a little bit, and we have a somewhat unusual start to the evening's proceedings. It's not often that I take this opportunity of telling you a story, but I'm going to tell you a story. There was a man who held a trainer's license during the 1960s when he owned Devon Farm in Moy River. The farm he later sold to John Galbraith, who renamed it Regent Stud. Interestingly, the renowned stipendiary steward, a man we revered, Mike Tillett, was this man's assistant trainer. During this man's training days, David Payne rode for him. Michael Roberts, a very young Michael Roberts, who was just an apprentice at the time, was quite obviously also a jockey of choice. And at this point, before I continue the story, I'm going to ask Michael Roberts to join me up here on the stage. So let's give Michael Roberts a nice big warm welcome. You can stand up. Oh, you are standing up. Lovely to have a legend on the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me continue my storytelling. This man's favorite horse was Thunderball. He was by Masham out of Birthright. And he won the Rupert Ellis Brown Memorial Plate in 1969 and retired as a six-time winner with 9 places to his credit. This man also bred a horse called Centre Court by Prince Midge out of Last Set. And he sold this horse at the yearling sales to a trainer in Rhodesia, as it was then known. Centre Court is a name that will be familiar to many of you in the room, perhaps not the 3A guys. Centre Court was a 12-time winner in South Africa, 32 places. He also won 4 times in Rhodesia and was placed 7 times there. Do the maths and you can work out that he was a top-class horse that was a consistent performer throughout his career. He won the Rhodesian Derby, and just as importantly, you may recall that Centre Court, the horse bred by this man, finished 3rd in the Rothmans July Handicap in 1970. This man's training career came to an abrupt ending when he suffered a heart attack, and he insisted that Herman Brown Sr. took over his horses. He never bet on his horses, but there's a legend out there, and we've been told by another trainer, and he was told by this trainer, that if a horse stood with its back, you might want to remember this, by the way, with its back legs crossed whilst being saddled, it would win. One day at Greyville, a long time ago, this man noticed Prince Fair. An outsider was standing with his legs crossed, and so he, his wife, and his daughter went to their longtime friend and bookie, another name that you might remember, a blast from the past, Tommy Morgan. And they had an exorbitant bet of 50 Rand on the nose at 30 to 1 on the basis that its legs were crossed while it was being saddled. To everyone's amazement, the horse crossed the line a winner. This man was born on the 11th of September, 1913. This man is here tonight celebrating his 101st birthday. Gold Circle's oldest member. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Hector Lawrence. Please welcome him on stage. Michael Roberts says, unbelievable. He remembers riding for Hector. Hector is closely related to an existing racing family in that he is Lorraine de Klerk's stepfather, and we also welcome Maureen. I didn't want to give the daughter's name away, but Maureen, who was there when they placed that exorbitant bet of 50 Rand at 30 to 1, was there, and she's here tonight. Please welcome the entire family, all the connections to Hector Lawrence on the occasion of his 101st birthday. And he's going to climb the stairs, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to climb the stairs, and we have a very special surprise waiting for him when he does. And I'm not talking about Michael Robertson, the trophy. You can stand back for a moment. Hector. Hector, we have a very special surprise for you. We've got Marilyn to come out and sing happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hector. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Now, Hector's going to receive a very special centenarian award from Michael Roberts, but he does want to say a few words.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's been a great pleasure for me to come down and meet all you lovely people, racing people, to feel the atmosphere of you people is something different. I would like to tell you of the very first time that I ever went on a race course. I was 20 years of age, 1934, and I was cross-shifting night and day, so from 12 at noon to midnight on a diamond drill on the Vlakfontein gold mine, doing structure testing for a new shaft. When I came off one Saturday at noon, I had a charge hand who was a Canadian, and he came to me and he said, "Don't you have racing in this country?" I said, "I don't know anything about racing. I've been on farms all my life, diamond drilling. When you diamond drill, you go into the field. You don't go anywhere else but be on the job." So I said, "I don't know, but I do know that on the main road going out of Benoni, on the Johannesburg side, there's a big signpost saying Benoni Race Course." He said, "Let's go. Let's go and see." So I said, "Okay." Well, I was dressed in a white shirt and grey pants. He was in his a Canadian shirt, which was red and black, as you know, very thick and heavy. But however, that's the way he was dressed. And off we went. And as we passed through Benoni, up Princess Street, we came to the gate, and there was a car going in. So I said, "Well, the gate is open, Bill, so do you want to go in and see?" And when we turned in, there were a couple of cars parked away on the right. But so I went and parked, and under the Benoni race course was a most beautiful race course, especially on the outside of the grandstand, all the grandstand, etc. There were some beautiful trees all spread out, and under these trees that day there were lots of tables, all with tablecloths on them and chairs and so forth. And so Bill said, "Well, looks pretty good, let's go and have a drink." So I said, "Fine." So we went and sat down, and of course lots of people started coming in. But those people that came in, a lot of them were in black tie. Some of the men were in grey tails, and all were beautifully suited. The ladies with their lovely umbrellas and cartwheel hats were gorgeous to see, and the cars, a lot of them driven by chauffeurs, and these people came and sat down all around us, and we ordered, I had a beer, and Bill had a scotch on rocks. Well, everybody settled down, and just when we finished our drinks, and Bill called the waiter, who wasn't very far from us, and said, can you bring us some, repeat our drinks? He said, certainly, sir. But he said, sir, before he could say a word, Bill said to him, look here, my man, where are all the horses? Where's everybody? There's no jockeys, nothing. What's happened? What's going on? He pulled himself. He was a very big man, and he pulled himself to his 6'5" height, and with that height, he had a loud voice as well. And he said, sir, this is Lady Dubois' wedding anniversary. I can only just tell you that a mine that is not worked had that type of deathly silence. We got up and walked away.
We have a very special Gold Circle Centenarian Award, which we are not expecting, obviously, Hector to carry all the way down, but the ladies are going to take his cake. And Vikash, who's beautifully dressed this evening, perhaps not as well dressed as Doug Campbell, but nonetheless beautifully dressed. And Michael just wants to say 2 quick words. Michael just wants to say 2 quick words.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must say that I came to the Academy in 1968, and I'll never forget the horse that Mr. Lawrence trained, or Mr. Tillett, Mike Tillett trained at the time. It's one of the first racehorses I actually seen in my life in the paddock at Clarewood. And it was Thunderball. He was magnificent. He always had a Apprentice on his back with 2 boys leading him, and his mane split it up, and he was a magnificent liver chestnut. And I was so itchy to get in this horse, and I didn't know how to do it because I wasn't even a track yet. And David Payne used to ride for Mr. Lawrence, as I said. And I managed to get on his back a couple of weeks later, and I tell you what, I'll never forget the moment. He was such a magnificent animal. But in my later years, I rode for Mr. Lawrence. Not an easy man. He used to get fiery at the races sometimes. But always, I'll never forget him with his little tweed hat and everything, well dressed and very well respected. But I was privileged, to be around in his heyday. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what makes the sport of thoroughbred horse racing so special and differentiates it from every other gaming activity in the world. I don't know who's struggling more, Hector or Michael. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your indulgence once again. Let's give Mr. Hector Lawrence, on the occasion of his 101st birthday, a very big welcome and a rousing round of applause. Right, it's time to get the show on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hollywood. The big screen theme comes through tonight, as it did on the occasion of the 2014 Vodacom Durban July. And to get the show kicked off with a medley of Hollywood hits, please welcome Sam Peo. Right, welcome back. As I said, it's time to get the show on the road, and as I said earlier as well, for a number of different reasons, we're mixing up a few things this evening, and one award in particular that would normally come a little bit later on in the evening, we're going to kick off with tonight for reasons that will become apparent to you. About 2 years ago, no, let me rephrase that. 2 years ago, at these awards, we introduced, in memory of Gold Circle's first chairman, the late Roy Eckstein, the Roy Eckstein Racing Personality of the Year. 2 years ago, this award was won, on its debut, so to speak, by Alesh Naidu. And last year, the award went to Gold Circle's ambassador, larger-than-life Bill Lambert. And as the defending champion, I'm going to ask Bill to join me on stage to assist with the presentation of the 2014 award. Please welcome Bill Lambert. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a new and fresh award, but it's an important award. We hope that the award personifies somebody whose passion, whose love for the game comes through in everything they do whenever they're at the races. And our 2014 winner is certainly no exception. Ladies and gentlemen, watch your screens. Our 2014 Roy Eckstein winner of the KZN Racing Personality of the Year is Anita Akel. And she knew nothing about it. And the reason we had to mix it up a bit because her family have been waiting in the wings and couldn't take their seats. Let's give Anita, she's been on our tracks for 43 years. She didn't know her family was here. She didn't know who the 3 empty seats were for at a table. We obviously had to start with this award, otherwise the table would have been lonely. The family would have been stuck in the wings until I don't know what time tonight. So please welcome Anita Akel's family as well. She has been taking photos at the KZN courses for the last 43 years, and she's loved every moment of it. She initially started as a child and family portrait photography in Johannesburg, and then switched to high-action horse racing when she moved to Durban. She was introduced to the game by her husband, Ron, who owned horses. She was one of the first to shoot in color, and at first battled to break into the male-dominated sport. I'm told that there were times when she sat quietly, if you can believe this at all. I am told that there were times when she sat quietly in the corner doing needlework between races. A big change from now when she's one of the biggest socialites on the racecourse. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you our 2014 KZN Racing Personality of the Year, Anita Akel. She has declined to say anything. She's a lady, as you know, that's very short of words. And thank you, Bill. The defending champion goes out with grace. Let's have a big round of applause for Bill. And now to get into the Equine Awards, I would ask you to please welcome on stage to assist us with the presentation of these trophies the Vice Chairperson of Gold Circle and the Chairman of the Racing Committee, Messrs. Moses Tembe and Neil Butcher. And now you can enjoy your starters. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we kick off with the champion 2-year-old female category. And this year we had 4 very exciting 2-year-old fillies vying for the title. And here they are in alphabetical order.
Come forward to the outside. Flame Cat still right there. Al Borency needs a split. Rich Girl hits the front with 200 to go, but Al Borency's all over her now. Al Borency and Rich Girl, but Al Borency steps into the ring and grade 1 success. Al Borency won it. Now Al Borency let loose. Pine Princess, Flame Cat's running a cracker. Al Borency hit the front. Down the centre, Pine Princess, Flame Cat, Al Borency. Bilateral gets going, Pine Princess. Al Borency leads the line. Bilateral's flying on the inside. And Bilateral got up from Al Borency.
The head in front, Isfahan's in second, then comes Flame Cat and Carry On Alice has still got 3 lengths to make up. Banadier now goes 2 lengths clear. Carry On Alice is now the biggest danger. Then comes Isfahan, Carry On Alice coming at Banadier. The filly will break their hearts today. Carry On Alice draws away.
Same jurisdiction, Garden Treasures on the inside. Shine Like a Star's running on. And same jurisdiction now comes to Beckett off past the 200. Same jurisdiction and Beckett off. These are the two. Same jurisdiction goes on though. And same jurisdiction has won it.
Borency, Bilateral, Carry On Alice, and Same Jurisdiction. Those are the 4 nominees. Your winner is Same Jurisdiction.
Carry On Ellison, same jurisdiction, the last 100. Carry On Alice has her head in front. Same jurisdiction's trying to warm up. Bilateral's on the outside. Carry On Alice going to the line, same jurisdiction.
Congratulations to Breeders Klavervlei Stud, to trainer Duncan Hels, to the owners Mrs. van Skalkveld, Duncan himself, Elsie Vermaak, Dr. Katzwinkel, and Mrs. M.A.M. Powell. And the team is largely here this evening, so give them a nice big warm welcome onto the stage. Champion 2-year-old filly, Same Jurisdiction. And once again, apart from the trophies that are presented here this evening, obviously the frames are courtesy of Anita Akel. So once again, we do thank you, Anita, for every effort that you make in making these awards a success. There we go, gentlemen, ladies, give them a nice big round of applause. Same Jurisdiction is our champion. Anita doing what Anita does best. Give them another big round of applause as they leave the stage. Thank you very much. And we move on. Have a look at that presentation that they're taking with them. You need to be quite strong and in training to do it. Moving on to the champion 2-year-old colt gelding. We have 3 nominees in this category, all of them Grade 1 winners. And here are your nominees in alphabetical order.
Towards the outside, taken out for a strider, 2 ducks to the inside. One Fine Day's running on nicely down the centre. Africa Burns also looking to lift the last 150. It's wide open. Angel explodes through. Harry Sun, One Fine Day. Africa Burn over the top. Africa Burn got them all. One Fine Day second. 200 to go. The filly Carry On Alice flat to the boards in second. And Guinness now ridden to respond 3 parts of the length. Carry On Alice is now going to try and reel him in late on. But Guinness continues to go from Carry On Alice, who's coming home late. Guinness is crying for the line. Guinness all out and pulled it off. Carry On Alice second. By Harry Sun. Harry Sun and Strawman past the 200-meter marker. And it's Harry Sun in front. Strawman tries to fight back, but Harry Sun is in front by this half length now. And Harry Sun, after being slow into stride now, draws off to win. Harry Sun by 2.
Africa Burn, Guinness and Harry Sun, all 3 worthy nominations for the title. There can only be one winner, and that winner is Harry's Sun.
Needs a gap. He's going to come through 3 lengths to make up. Light the lights. Angel to the outside. Harry Sun's running on strongly towards the inside. Harry Sun and Light the lights. Angel hard up on the outside. Angel has his head in front. Harry Sun's coming home hard. Jay is absolutely flying. Maybe Harry Sun one in a thriller.
Bred in Australia by Cranton Bloodstock, trained of course by Paul Lafferty. A big partnership once again. All of Messrs. Roy Moodley, Phil Georgia, Basenbacher, Mr. and Mrs. DJ Stain, Mrs. M.M. Bilrow and Miss A. Bilrow. Please welcome them all on stage to receive the Champion 2-Year-Old Colt Award for their talented horse, Harry's Son. Well done, ladies and gents. We look forward to seeing Harry's Son in action as a 3-year-old. He's the kind of horse that looks set to go places, to improve on his 2-year-old performances. He doesn't just look like a 2-year-old. He looks like his 2-year-old career has set the platform for an exciting campaign as a 3-year-old. And we wish the Connections all of the best for the coming season. Ladies and gentlemen, give them another big round of applause. The Connections of Harry's Son. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, congratulations as we move on to the next category. We move on to the classic categories, the 3-year-olds, and we move to the Champion 3-year-old filly category. And in this category, once again, we have 3 nominees. Once again, high-class racehorses, high-class race fillies. Here are the nominations for Champion 3-year-old filly.
Moving up on the outside, Espumante, Chetri Pink in the shake-up too. Along came Polly with 200 to go, picked up the advantage from Jetta Glow. Not sulking, Chetri Pink the outside. Along came Polly, a big payday for Along came Polly, Chetri Pink.
Up, she's a pipper. Alaskan Maiden starts to descend. Sea Cat has taken off with Masked Lady, and up the outside of that one we got in the fast lane. We're into the final 150, and in the fast lane is charging home up the middle, and she comes mowing them down. In the fast lane wins, going away.
In the fast lanes, getting a split on the inside. Maybe yes, the leader running on a Seacat on the outside, not sulking, but maybe yes, hit the front, and it's maybe yes, not sulking on the outside. Then Lana Falcon, maybe yes, just the leader. Maybe yes has won it.
Came Polly in the fast lane, and maybe yes, 3 fillies that you'd love to own. Highly competitive. The Champion 3-year-old filly is in the fast lane.
Down the inside, Marvy Princess, but in the fast lane, hit the front at the 200. Athena's on the outside. Along came Polly, but in the fast lane, and Athena in the fast lane continues to dig down though, and in the fast lane will win it.
We welcome Chris and Sue Snaithia this evening, John Freeman. Sue, you're most welcome to join them on stage. You don't always have to sit in the background, you know. Lovely to have Sue with us. Give her a nice big welcome here in KwaZulu-Natal. Congratulations also to the Breeders' Hallmark Thoroughbreds. Justin Snaith, who got married last week, and owners Tony Phillips and Woodall Stud Limited. They are resident in the United Kingdom and tendered their apologies this evening. They own this wonderful filly in the fast lane, winner of the Aventure Cape Fillies Guineas Grade 1, and of course the Woollavington 2000 Grade 1. And she ran a fantastic race in the Vodacom Durban July, finishing on the heels of the placed runners in 5th position. So well done to In the Fast Lane. We might have to send that down with new turf. Give them another big round of applause, Chris and Sue and John, all the way from Cape Town to be with us here this evening. A fantastic effort on their part as we move to the Champion 3-year-old Colton Gelding. And here again, we only have 3 nominees, but what nominees? Again, all of them are Grade 1 winners. Performers whose career we will follow with interest over the coming months. And here are the three nominees.
Blaze of fire, and the leader, no worries. Now Futura starts to warm up, and Futura's coming home stoutly now, and it's Futura from No Worries, Bezanova, King of Pain, but Futura goes, and Futura will win the Beach Beauty Champions Cup.
The inside. They race down to the final 100. Legislate now comes out to pick it up, and it's Legislators come forward to pick it up. Now Captain America sets out after him. Legislate's in front though. Captain America is unwinding his run, but he's going to come too late, and Legislators won it from Captain America.
Race over towards the inside. Tevez tries to get going. Still Normans digs down deep over the last 150. Red Rays on the outside, but Normans is clear by 2, and Normans, Red Rays down the middle of the course. Normans looking to go all for broke here. Normans won it. Red Rays second, White Line Fever and Happy Forever.
Brilliant colts, Futura, Legislate and Normans. The winner is Legislate.
Legislate comes into the lead now. Legislate going for home, gone clear. And Legislate in the KRA Guineas is going on by 3 or 4 lengths. Bezanova's running on, but Legislate, very impressive. Won it by 2.5 to 3.
Congratulations to the Chevrolet stud for having bred this outstanding son of Dynasty. It's wonderful to have Shirley Costa to join the winning party. It's also fantastic to have Dennis and Gail Evans with us here this evening at huge sacrifice to themselves. They've joined us here in KwaZulu-Natal. Give them a nice big warm Banana Country welcome. Welcome to Sharks Country. Once again, we also welcome Sue and Chris Snaith and John Freeman on stage. Fantastic performances from Legislate, but equally, we look forward to renewed challenges with Futura in the coming months. Once again, we also congratulate Justin Snaith, your champion trainer, national champion trainer for the 2013-14 racing season. Hope that he's having a wonderful honeymoon. Give them another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. What a horse!
I just think we at Cheveley have an enormous debt of gratitude to Natal. We bought Legislate's grandmother from Alan and Vera, and the rest is history. Thank you, Natal.
I can imagine, I can just picture Alan Sutherland saying, why the hell did you tell me to sell that mare? Vera in the dwang again. Right, we move on, ladies and gentlemen. KwaZulu-Natal Racing Season Awards 2014. We go to the next category, which is the Champion Older Filly Mare category. The quality has just been unbelievable in this past champion season. We were blessed with racing, extraordinary racing of the highest quality. And when you look at the 3 names of the nominees in this category, you've got to say to yourself, wow, they could be foundation broodmares for any stud anywhere in the world. Here they are in alphabetical order.
No worries. Coming to the 300, Distinguished Royal Zulu Warrior, and Beach Beauty starts to warm up. Cape Town was running on. Here comes Billy, but here comes Beach Beauty. She explodes into action the last 100, and Beach Beauty is home and hose. Beach Beauty won it. Down the inside, Regal Eagle, Show Me the Way, and Fly By Night just needs some luck on the outside. Fly By Night, Show Me the Way, Midnight Run over the last 100 meters, and Fly By Night comes on powerfully, Midnight Run, and Copper Parade exploding through lane. Copper Parade, Fly By Night, but it's Fly By Night who won it.
Must go second is coming up the outside, 200 meters left to go, and Via Africa gets let loose up the outside. She kicks for home. Down the inside, the 3-year-old Red Ray is on the charge. It's Via Africa with 50 to go. She's staying on gamely. Via Africa beats Red Ray.
Via Africa and Fly By Night are absolutely brilliant. They thrilled us in the SA Filly Sprint. But how on earth can they compete with Beach Beauty?
To put in a claim, and it's Beach Beauty. Amizuka now throws out the challenge, but Beach Beauty by a length. Amizuka's on the outside. Beach Beauty continues to roll. Amizuka's making a race of it, but Beach Beauty, she just keeps on finding more, and Beach Beauty won it.
We congratulate the Shank Syndicate. We congratulate Dennis Dreyer. We think of the late Trevor Armitage at this time. Well done to them all. Dennis and Jill are here this evening. Warren and Laura Kidd, Ruth Armitage, John and Janet Biscoby, Anthony and Barbara Erswell. You're all most welcome. Receive this award with pride. Receive this award with honour. For 4 consecutive seasons, as we heard earlier, she thrilled the racing fans, not only in KwaZulu-Natal, but throughout the country. Let's hear it one more time for Beach Beauty. Moving on now to the equivalent category for the males, the older colts, geldings, and horses. And this was a highly competitive category this year, resulting in no fewer than 4 nominees. A sought-after title. Here are your nominees for champion older colt, gelding, and horse.
No worries. Coming to the 300.
Sorry, we obviously have a problem.
And Beach Beauty starts to warm up. Cape Town.
I know we love Beach Beauty, but not that much.
Dance, but Hot Ticket at this stage, you want to be on Hot Ticket, and 200 to go, and Hot Ticket now breezes on by. Go stand in the queue. Hot Ticket's 3 lengths clear. Tribal Dancers back second. Disco L, but Hot Ticket, he's certainly a Hot Ticket out here. He wins by 4.
The one they got to get to, King of Pain. He's drawing up along the inside of him, and Castlethorpe from the back is starting to lift towards the inside. Milord's throat is deeper on. It's King of Pain that takes the lead. Night Trip is on the charge. Up the outside, Tribal Dance. It's King of Pain that goes on.
But Distinguished still the leader from No Worries as they get to the 200-meter marker. Behind that, Bezanova, King Jace on the inside. No Worries now comes home powerfully inside the 200 from Distinguished. No Worries takes it up and is running strongly. And No Worries going out to score. No Worries won it by 3. Distinguished second. Bezanova, Silver Hawk. Come forward. Gothic's running on. Magic Smoke between them. Wave and Flag. Wild One hits the front. Ash Clouds on the outside. Wave and Flag. Gold Onyx exploding through on the outside. Wave and Flag and Gold Onyx. Wave and Flag coming to torpedo them. Wave and Flag won it.
Racing, very competitive, thrilling racing. He won the Rising Sun Gold Challenge. He was second in the Champions Cup. Your winner is King of Pain. We asked John Costa to represent the connections. The owners, Mr. and Mrs. D. Nake, Mrs. Kay Finch and Mrs. B. Kisvetter and Mr. Joey Ramsden. Joey sent us an email wishing us well this evening, apologising for their absence here this evening, and congratulations also to the breeders, Ark and Seal Stud. Let's give it up for the magnificent grey King of Pain. And ladies and gentlemen, would you also like to thank Neil Butcher and Moses Temby for assisting us with the presentation of those awards. Let's give them also a nice big round of applause. I'd like to now call up Greg Petzer and Paul Lafferty, two directors of Gold Circle, to assist us with the presentation of the next few awards to take us into the dinner break. So let's give Greg Petzer and Paul Lafferty a nice big warm welcome. It's called The Long and the Short of It. Okay, we move on now to the champion sprinter category. We're getting to the distance specialists. You'll have seen them all in action already. Champion sprinter, the three nominees for the 2014 title are Fly By Night from the Mike Bass stable, winner of the Mercury Sprint, Grade 1. Normans, trained by Charlie Laird for the Eusters, winner of the Grade 1 Golden Horse Casino Sprint. And Via Africa, trained by Duncan Hales, winner of the SA Filly Sprint, Grade 1 at Scottsville. Your winner is, who do you think? Via Africa!
Via Africa still the one to get with 200 metres to go, and Via Africa by 2.5. Fly By Night's trying to run on 150 to go, but Via Africa, she's clear by a length and a half. Fly By Night is coming home late. Fly By Night's coming home hard. Here's the post. I'm going to go with Via Africa by a nose.
Wonderful to have Andre and Tilla Helpfleisch here this evening. We also congratulate co-owner Albert Boshoff. And a special congratulations to Andre. Give him a round of applause because he not only owns this flying filly, he bred her as well. Well done to trainer Duncan Hales. What a season he's had. Who says you can't train champions at Ashburton? Andre Helpfleisch describes Ashburton as the best kept secret in KwaZulu-Natal. Well done, guys. Well done to Via Africa. We wish her well on an international campaign. Now we move to the middle distance category, champion middle distance category, and as one would expect, here we have nominees of the highest quality, and there are 4 of them. Here they are in alphabetical order. Beach Beauty, the magnificent daughter of Dynasty, trained by Dennis Dreyer for the Shanks Syndicate. Winner of the Garden Province Stakes again, amongst others. Beach Beauty Champions Cup winner, Futura, trained by Brett Crawford. Rising Sun Gold Challenge winner, King of Pain, for Joey Ramsden and runner-up in the Beach Beauty Champions Cup. And our 4th nominee, another son of Dynasty, Legislate, from the Justin Snaith stable. Beach Beauty, Futura, King of Pain, and Legislate. The champion middle distance performer for 2013-2014 is Legislate.
Race Chestnut running on. Legislate comes out Captain America. And here's Legislate with a long, lengthy stride. And Legislate hit the front. Race Chestnut the outside. Legislate's digging in. Race Chestnut's coming on powerfully. Legislate maybe just held on.
Well done again to breeders Chevrolet Stud, Vaughan and Shirley Costa, trainer Justin Snaith, the owners Jack Mitchell, Drakenstein Stud, the nominee Mrs. Gaynor Rupert, and Dennis Evans and Gail Evans. We welcome once again on stage Dennis and Gail, Chris and Sue, and John Freeman, and Shirley Costa as well. What a season Dynasty had when you consider that 3 of the 4 nominees in this category, Beach Beauty, Futura, and Legislate, all by Dynasty. What a team. Yeah, all the parents are here. We should have Justin and Jono and Vaughan Costa, but they've sent the old brigade. I was quoting Sue Snaith, not me. Give them another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and well done once again to the connections of Legislate. Now we move on to our next category. We've done the sprinters, we've done the middle distance category. That leaves us with the stayers, the champion stayer category. And one often has a feeling that the quality is lacking somewhat in some years in this category. The same cannot be said for this year. We had wonderful racing over the extreme distances. We saw a titanic struggle in the Lonsdale. We saw a titanic struggle for top honours in the Gold Vase on Vodacom Durban July Day. And speaking about the Vodacom Durban July, indulge me as we welcome especially here this evening Albert Breitz from the sponsors Vodacom. Give him a nice warm round of applause wherever he is. And then on Super Saturday, we saw another thrilling challenge with the same horses, no quarter asked, no quarter given. Weight was given, but no quarter was given. And here are your three nominees for the champion stayer category. Quite predictable, I would have thought, given the results. Hot Ticket from the stable of Dean Kannemeyer, winner of the Gold Vase, and of course, the Betting World Stakes. Our second nominee, the Eland Property Group Gold Cup winner, Wave and Flag from the Brett Crawford stable. And our third nominee, very game, very consistent, Sean Phillips is here in the bright yellow, Wild One, trained by Mike de Kock. Your winner of this highly competitive category is Hot Ticket.
Hot Ticket now starts to run, and Hot Ticket comes bounding into the lead after 200. Wild One thrown out a challenge. It's Hot Ticket and Wild One over the last 100. Hot Ticket just the leader. Wild One is fighting back. Hot Ticket's going to do enough. Here comes Wave and Flag. Hot Ticket just won it.
We call on David Avery, who's here to represent the owners. Please give him a nice warm welcome. David owns the horse in partnership with Rick Ahmed and F. Dippenaar, bred by the Dichter Bay stud of the Stegemans. David, you're most welcome. Congratulations. Please extend our congratulations to your partners and also to Dean Kannemeyer, who's extended his apologies for not being here this evening. He feels lonely. Anybody care to join him? There you go, Paul and Greg. That's not what he had in mind, I fancy. Well done, David. Please extend our congratulations to your partners. We break away for a moment from the equines and come back to the professionals in the game. We take this opportunity each year to honour not just the champion trainer of KwaZulu-Natal, which we will do later on with the Ernie Duffield Memorial Trophy, but we also honour the leading trainers at each of the three training centres. Firstly, the leading trainer at Ashburton, and there's no betting on this outcome, ladies and gentlemen, there's no betting, because your champion, Ashburton Trainer of the Year, has to be Duncan Howells. Now he feels lonely. You want to say something, Duncan?
I'd like to make special. I'd like to make special mention to the staff at Ashburton. They do a wonderful job in maintaining the facilities. We've got great training tracks, and it's a very horse-friendly environment. And I think it's attributed a lot to my success over the last couple of years. Thank you very much.
We're dealing with the training centres in alphabetical order as well. So having announced the Ashburton Trainer of the Year, we move for the last time, sadly, as we all know, we honour the Clarewood Trainer of the Year. And here again, there's no betting on the outcome. Please welcome Charles Laird. Nice picture of you, Nordine. Do you want to say something?
Just like to say thanks to all. Very sad that we've left Clarewood. It's been a great home to all of us, but we're moving on, and I'm sure we're going to have lots of fun in our new places. Thank you.
And now we move to the Summerveld Trainer of the Year. And this is an award that's going to get a lot more competitive as we go forward. So you certainly can't rest on your laurels, sir. And who is the sir that I'm referring to? What a character, what a man. Dennis Dreyer. You will notice the lovely frame that Anita has prepared of Dennis and Beach Beauty and Sean Cormack. Absolutely magnificent, and we trust that it'll adorn the stables at Dennis's place at Summerveld handsomely. Dennis, I'm sure you want to say a few words.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. And just a big thank you to all my staff, the grooms, Stewie, Robbie Dawson, Sean, and of course all my owners. Thanks very, very much. Without you chaps, I could never be here. Thank you.
So well done to Duncan Howells, Charles Laird and Dennis Dreyer being the respective leading trainers at their training centres. Later on, as I said, we'll announce the overall winner for the Ernie Duffield Memorial Trophy. In the meantime, would you please put your hands together for Greg Petzer and Paul Lafferty, who assisted us with the presentation of those trophies. Well, I'm sure now you're feeling a little bit peckish, so it's time for our dinner break. Next few awards, I would ask you to please welcome on stage to assist us with the presentation, Mr. Babu Noonan and Koos de Klerk. Right, moving on to our next category. We honour the owner of the year. And once again, I guess, this doesn't come as a surprise to anyone. the rewards for the huge investment they make. Once again, the owner of the year, KwaZulu-Natal, Ingrid and Marcus Jooste, represented this evening by Derek Brookman, the racing manager. Fantastic to have Derek with us, flown all the way from Cape Town to join us here this evening at the Elangeni Hotel. Racing manager for Ingrid and Marcus Jooste, privileged to be associated with the quality of horses such as Variety Club and to go beyond the borders of South Africa. What a year it's been for Variety Club, for the rest of the Jooste team, for Derek Brookman and for Ingrid and Marcus Jooste, and of course Anton Marcus and the rest of the jockeys and trainers that support this wonderful outfit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it once again for Ingrid and Marcus Jooste. Derek, you want to say a few words? You sure? I insist.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a short few words just to thank Charles and Dennis for the wonderful job they've done here for us in Natal. We haven't had as many Group 1 winners here this season, but it's been a great season nevertheless, and I see there's a lot of good new owners coming through in the Natal ranks. I see Roy Moodley is doing very well with his horses and Alesh, and we'll keep racing here and hope we can keep you guys off the stage, but I'm sure you're going to catch us at some point in time, and I wish you all the best for the future, and thanks for a very nice evening tonight. Thank you.
Trophy plus frame, but Vikash will assist with all of that. We move on, staying with the personalities, but combined, of course, with the nursery of our industry, which is the breeding industry. Our next award is for the Breeder of the Year, and this is for Stakes 1 in KwaZulu-Natal. They may have lost the championship title to Klavervlei, represented here this evening by John Costa, and congratulations to them. Last year, they were the leading breeders in KwaZulu-Natal. This year, in this province, they've had to take a backseat once again to Summerhill Stud. Mick and Cheryl Goss and the rest of the Summerhill team. Here they come, here they all come. Wonderful asset to KwaZulu-Natal Summerhill Stud, not just because of the horses they breed, but all of the peripheral that they get involved in, the School of Excellence, the exchange program with the grooms overseas, with the teachings, with their dancers who have just performed so well at the Edinburgh Festival. It's all happening from Summerhill Stud in KwaZulu-Natal. 9 times national champion breeders, and this year, the champion breeders in KwaZulu-Natal. We give you Summerhill Stud. Ladies and gentlemen, the man behind the team, Mr. Mick Goss.
Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Graham. Age is a wonderful educator, ladies and gentlemen. The longer I've been in the game, the more remarkable I find it. But I have to say that it's come to me in the last couple of years that racing is the subtlest form of socialism. When the cycle starts, the owners have got the money and us horse guys have got the experience. When the owners have paid for their horses, they've paid the trainers and the jockeys and the entry fees, They've paid the farriers, and they've paid the vets, and they've paid for those magic elixirs that make their horses run quicker. The owners have got the experience, and us horse guys have got the money. And yet, here we are, all these owners tonight gathered to celebrate the racehorse. And I've always said I'm the luckiest guy on this earth. I wake up every morning, and I push the shutters open, and I look on a World Heritage Site, Giant's Castle. I wake up next to a girl who I always used to rate in the top 10 in the country. Like me, she's getting on a bit, but she still makes, I reckon she still makes the top 10 in Moy River. On her behalf, let me say thank you. I go to work with the greatest creature the good Lord ever created. And I have to say, and I'm paying my respects to my team tonight, I go to work with some of the most gifted horsemen on this earth and some of the finest human beings you could ever wish to work for. And I have to say, on the back of all of this, to GoldCircle, who've put on a wonderful show tonight and who give us this remarkable program of racing throughout the year and put up with all our moans and our gripes, and they do so with equanimity. Thank you, guys. You can take a bow. This has been a wonderful evening. And it's a great event for racing, and we're very proud to be part of your province and to be with you tonight. Thank you.
I would now like to call on the chairman of the South African Jockey Academy to come and join Babu and Koos de Klerk. Please welcome Avison Carlisle to assist with the next presentation, which is for the Apprentice of the Year. Please welcome Avison Carlisle, chairman of the South African Jockey Academy. The South African Jockey Academy has such a wonderful, proud record over many, many years of turning out some of the finest, if not the very finest, jockeys in the world. And when you get to win the Apprentice of the Year award, either at regional level or at national level, you know you're on the right path, you're on your way to greater heights. And this year's recipient of the Apprentice of the Year award fits that mold. He's a wonderful guy. He works hard, he plays hard, he rides hard. He loves to win, and he's shown his skill from the very word go. Please welcome our champion KwaZulu-Natal apprentice, Donovan Dillon. Now, I know that his mother got on a plane this morning, and I think it would be appropriate to have Mom with him, don't you agree? Come on, Lonnie, come on, come and join Donovan. If it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be here. Not only a great rider, but also very academically inclined, did very well through his schooling career, which is now behind him. He says, thank goodness. He only has a few months to go, and then he'll enter the world of being a fully qualified jockey. He's represented South Africa as an apprentice in a number of different shows successfully. Once again, let's put your hands together before we hear from the man himself. Put your hands together for Donovan Dillon. And proud Mom.
Good evening, everybody. I would just like to, first of all, thank the Lord for getting me thus far. He's guided me in the right path all the way, and obviously my family and friends as well. But most of all, I'd like to thank all the owners and trainers for all their support that I've had over the past few years that I've been racing. It's really gotten me far, and I'm really enjoying this game, and hope to get many more winners for all you lovely people. Thanks very much.
There you go, Donovan Dillon, Champion Apprentice of the Year. Thank you, Avison, and thank you, Mrs. Dillon, for flying all the way from Johannesburg this morning to be on stage with us this evening. Well, from the mini version, or the yet-to-be qualified version, to the fully qualified version, the Jockey of the Year. We are blessed, as I've said so many times before, and as I alluded to just a few moments ago, I don't think we fully appreciate and understand the quality of jockey that gets produced from the southernmost tip of Africa. We have surprised the world, as South Africans, on so many fronts. We were the pioneers of commingling. They're starting to understand the quality of our horses. Our stipendiary stewards have gone around the world. Our commentators from this very province are ranked amongst the best in the world in the United States of America. I'm, of course, referring to Trevor Denman. We've got trainers and we've got jockeys who are rewriting the headlines abroad on a consistent basis. They didn't know us perhaps before London News, or they'd forgotten about us before London News blazed the trail for us. But since then, we have torpedoed their world. We have humbled their world. In a country that has a small jockey academy, that has homegrown trainers, only produces 3,000 foals or so a year from a population of 4,000 broodmares, salt of the earth breeders, salt of the earth horsemen. And our champion jockey is all of those things. He's a champion in every respect. He's not just a champion jockey, as he's shown the world on so many occasions. Who will forget that ride on JPEG? But he is a thinker. He's a philosopher. He's a great track manager as well, I might say. I am, of course, talking about Anton Marcus.
At least I know to come to when I retire. It's never easy speaking after Mick, but I'll give it a bash. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, well done to the winners and the nominees in the various categories. I'd like to thank GoldCircle for the recognition in this prestigious award. I do find myself in the very fortunate position to be supported by various owners and trainers, in particular Charles, who moonlights as my sparring partner. The statistics will tell you that he's undefeated. A special thank you must go to Marcus, who continues to support racing. His support is unparalleled, and he supports every aspect of our industry, which benefits us all. It would be remiss of me if I never thanked my wife and kids for their support as well. Lastly, I'd like to wish GoldCircle all the best in their future endeavors. Thank you very much.
I guess 3 words describe Anton Marcus: the consummate professional. Ernie Duffield was a great character of KwaZulu-Natal racing, and he's remembered each year through the presentation of the Ernie Duffield Memorial Trophy, which is presented to KwaZulu-Natal's leading trainer of each season. And for purposes, and it's always been this way, of determining the champion trainer of KwaZulu-Natal in any given season, it's not been by stakes, as is the national norm. It's by the number of winners. You can't win just a single massive Group 1 race and walk away with the title. You've got to perform at every level from the 1st of August through to the 31st of July. Obviously, it helps and gains you even more recognition to win at the highest level. Our recipient this year, for the very first time in his career, and he's dethroned a number of big names in achieving this year, knows what it takes to win a maiden and has savoured success at the very highest level. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion trainer for this year and the recipient of the Ernie Duffield Memorial Trophy is Duncan Howells.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a... I've watched Uncle Dan up here so many times, I thought this would be easy. It's been a lifelong ambition of mine to achieve something like this. It's taken 15 years of hard work. I've had to have the right people standing behind me, giving me 100% effort every part of the way. I'd like to thank my wife, Kathy, all my owners, and my son, Alex, who for the last 2 years has played a big part in the running of the stable and traveling with horses to Cape Town. There's nothing more I can say, but thanks very much. It's a great achievement for our stable. Thank you.
Right, we're almost at the end and we're building up towards the climax, which is obviously the announcement of the Horse of the Year. We've also got the Anita Akel Special Award for dedicated services to the horse racing industry to come, which is always an interesting award that she decides on. But in the meantime, I'd like you to say thank you to Koos de Klerk and Babu Noonan for their assistance in the presentation of those recent awards we just handed out. I can also tell you that one of the greatest bands, both for dancing and for listening to, in KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban, Afritude, as you know them well, have just arrived, and they're going to be part of our after entertainment. So we look forward to listening to them a little bit later on as well. Not that we've finished with Lauren and Clive and Sam quite yet. They'll be back a little bit later on. But in the meantime, it gives me great pleasure to call on stage the chairman of GoldCircle, Mr. Robert Mervis, and also director of KZN Nota, Tony Riverland. Would you please come forward to join us with the closing of the awards presentation this evening? We're in the final furlong, to coin a phrase. Anita, you going to join us? I never know what to get out of Anita, so I don't know if she's going to refuse me again, reject my offerings and my approaches. But I think you should join the party. Give her another big round of applause. Because this is her award. She didn't know that she was going to get it. I was really amused when I saw her jump out of the chair with a camera at the ready to see who was going to be the 2014 KZN Racing Personality of the Year and who was going to stand next to Bill Lambert. And she nearly dropped the camera, which she would have held me responsible for if that expensive piece of equipment had broken. But for many years, while that was a surprise to her tonight, and it was genuinely a surprise, and I thank you guys for keeping it that way, while that was a surprise to her, for many, many, many years, both at the KZN Racing Awards and at the KZN Breeders' Awards, which are held in the Midlands in November of each year, Anita has taken it upon herself each year to honor somebody who's made a special contribution to horse racing in this part of the world. It is indeed called the Anita Akel Special Award for dedicated service to the horse racing industry. And if you go back over the years and look at the names who have won this award, they represent the doyens of our industry. And this year's winner particularly delights me. And you'll understand why I say that as I announce the name of the winner. The 2014 Anita Akel Special Award for dedicated service over many years to the horse racing industry goes to Craig Peters.
The runners now starting to load up at the 2200-meter marker. What a race. Jackson used up a lot of energy. Has been on his toes for the last couple of minutes, but he looked extreme. I used to call him going down to the start in Afrikaans. Now, it was hilarious because
Well, there was only one difference between the launch of our careers between myself and Craig as a commentator. I was quite intrigued by that last remark, which some of you may not have heard. He said initially he had to call the horses going down to the start in Afrikaans. Well, Craig, let me remind you, when I started in the Western Cape, I replaced Eddie Peterson for the first 2 years of my career. I wasn't allowed to call in English. I had to call every race in Afrikaans, and I couldn't speak Afrikaans either, so we bluffed our way through it. Ladies and gentlemen, a very worthy recipient, a man, the voice of racing in this part of the world, and a sire of the voice of racing in this part of the world, Craig Peters.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think one thing ties us up. Lost for words, can you believe it? We all involved with the thoroughbred, and I think we must raise our glasses to the thoroughbred. Thank you very much to everybody. Next year is my 30th July. I equaled Ernie Duffield this year. And thank you very much to Gold Circle and everybody concerned. Thank you.
Does that mean you really want to call next year's July? Craig, there's more trophies and there's a wonderful frame put together by Anita Akel, as she has done for all of the awards this evening. Right, we come to that moment of the evening when we honor the horse that gets the vote, the horse of the season. All of the winners this evening are obviously candidates to receive that award. It goes to a horse that has performed not just once or twice, but consistently at the very highest level, and who deserves the accolade of Horse of the Year. And there are so many potential winners this year. As I said earlier, I think the past champion season produced some of the best and most exciting and thrilling racing that we've seen in many a long while. And yes, some controversy as well. But who said that controversy isn't good for any sport? Ladies and gentlemen, the Horse of the Year 2013-14 is Legislate. Who will forget those moments? President Jacob Zuma, the connections, the presentation party at around 4:45 at Greyville on July the 5th, after Legislate was awarded the Vodacom Durban July, but that was his 4th consecutive Grade 1 victory. Son of Dynasty, trained by Justin Snaith. Once again, we welcome Dennis and Gail Evans, Chris and Sue Snaith, and John Freeman. We congratulate Richard Faree in his absence for what he's done for Legislate. Some wonderful scenes coming through on your screens from Greyville on that memorable afternoon. Once again, we also congratulate Vaughan Costa and his team at Chevrolet Stud. I'm sure that Wilfred will be smiling down from wherever he is. And Shirley, once again, congratulations to you and the family and the heritage of the Chevrolet Stud. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the connections of Legislate. Now, as all of you know, it is also tradition at these awards to especially honor the groom of the Horse of the Year. And every year, wherever he may come from, local or otherwise, we make every effort as Gold Circle to ensure that he's with us on this evening. And unfortunately, despite our best endeavors, his duties and his responsibilities back home with Legislate had to come first, particularly in the absence of Justin and Jono. Watch your screens as we pay tribute to Legislate's groom, Jabu Umdludlu. We have a very special award for Jabu Umdludlu, and I have no doubt that John Freeman, Chris and Sue Snaith and the rest of the team will ensure that Jabu receives his memento that he might have got this evening. But please pass on to him our heartiest congratulations and congratulate him for all of the hard work that he's done in presenting Legislate in the very best condition every time he stepped onto the racecourse. Ladies and gentlemen, Legislate, Horse of the Year 2014. Would somebody like to, I don't know who's going to be the spokesman. Sue wants to firstly say a few words on behalf of Jabu. In English.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Jabu, I'd just like to say Nyabonga Gukulu. And he's actually running the show because Justin's on honeymoon and we're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Legislate team, to say a few words, please give a warm KwaZulu-Natal welcome to a very special visitor here this evening, Dennis Evans.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's to say this is an honour and a privilege to be here this evening. Under these circumstances is a dramatic understatement. When I look at the previous speakers that have been up here this evening, acknowledging the horse, probably most than anything, it becomes very humbling. I always feel inclined to call upon John Costa or Mickey Goss to give me the notes that they promised for any speech that had to be made. They're both acknowledged speech makers of great note, especially in recent times. Many thanks to everybody. Going all the way back to Jan Mantel, looking after him as a youngster, and Felix, who did a lot of work breaking him in. Of course, the Snaith Racing family is to be honoured as well tonight. My wife, Gail, who always takes the back seat at these things, but is there. She doesn't take a back seat at home, I can tell you. Also, many, many thanks to GoldCircle for such a wonderful evening, really. I mean, these trophies are fantastic. Also, I keep doing this, I don't know why it is, but I'd like to acknowledge Richard as well. Richard Free has really done well for us. He's ridden well, he's looked after the horse terribly well in races and brought him back sound. And thank you all. It really is a great pleasure to be here. And the mere fact that there's so many people from the racing industry that you're very significant people, the mere fact you're here is a great thing for racing. And again, an acknowledgement of the beauty and the wonder of a racehorse. Thank you so much. And thanks, Natal.
Thank you very much to Dennis Evans. Once again, to the Legislate team, well done. We'd also like to thank Robert Mavis and Tony Riverland for assisting us with the award of this, with the awards of the Anita Akel Special Award, and of course the Horse of the Year and the Groom of the Horse of the Year. Robert Mavis and Tony Riverland, give them a nice big round of applause. Once again, congratulations to all our winners this evening. Thank you to you guys for turning up in numbers to support the winners. If you were nominated this evening, congratulations. Please join me also in thanking KZN Nota for their financial support and their funding of this evening, and GoldCircle for facilitating the arrangement, but most especially, I'd like you to put your hands together for Jill Simpkins, who pretty much took this up all by herself, along with Raymond Rogers and his team. To the rest of the events department, Monica and Ken, and you guys, thanks for all of your assistance, Vikash, Vinny, and so on. You know who all you are. It's been a wonderful, wonderful team effort to put tonight together. And to David, Goldie, and his entertainment team, thank you very much for all of the offering this evening.